Hello everybody, welcome back to another Kinnikin video. What's happening, y'all? Today's video is going to be a story about a party that I went to a few nights ago and how things went down and other stuff. Let's just say there was illegal substances, police, and chicken chips involved. Let's see if we can get this up to 10 likes. Subscribe to this channel if y'all new to my content. Let's get into the story. So this haul takes place about a week and a half ago. I was in choir. We didn't have anything to do in choir because we had already finished everything for the rest of the year. Everybody was moving to sit next to their friends and having pleasant conversations about life itself. One of my friends asked me out of the blue if I was going to a party that I was unaware of. Once again, I don't want to drop any real names, so we'll call him Troy. So Troy told me that there was this open invite party next Saturday night. There was going to be a lot of guests at the party trying to have a good time and a lot of drugs and booze. He didn't get along with one of the hosts of the party, but he was still willing to show up. He even had a few condoms, so y'all already know what he was trying to do. I wanted to go because I heard that a lot of my friends were going to go, but the problem was that the only way I could get there is by walking. I couldn't get a car ride for my mom because she was already at work and it seemed sketchy for her to give me a ride to a party that has drugs and alcohol. I couldn't get a ride for anyone else because I needed gas money, and y'all know I stay broke. I told my friend that I was probably going to end up walking there. He wanted to walk with me too because he also didn't have a ride. A few days later, Troy had finally changed his mind and said that he's not going to the party. He says that the whole idea of having alcohol and drugs at a party doesn't sound like the kind of party like people like him would want to go to. That didn't change my mind. I still wanted to go to see if anything interesting would happen because my life is fucking sad, to be honest. I make YouTube videos on a laptop running Windows XP and have family issues. It's pretty embarrassing. The next day, my mom wakes me up at 11 a.m. I must have slept good that night because I fell asleep at around 9:30. My mom made me and my little brother mow all the grass in my backyard. My grass was like 2 feet tall. We haven't cut the grass in like months, and it took like 2 or 3 hours to mow the backyard, and my mom ended up paying me and my little bro $20 each. She even said that she's going to buy us a 4-for-4 Wendy's meal when she gets home from work and a new bike the next day, which was a week ago. I really like Wendy's. Don't judge me. Around 6:15 p.m. I was sitting in my room trying to figure out what to do. I wanted my Wendy's meal at the time, but I had to wait for my mom to get home from work to buy the meal and give it to me and my little brother. But I wanted to go to the party and I had to leave an hour before the party started since I had to walk there. Then I thought about that one place where a bike was abandoned. I saw it a few days ago as I was walking by to a friend's house. To be honest, I really wish I had used that bike because when I walked 35 minutes to get to that area, the bike was no longer there. So I ended up going to a nearby gas station called Shell's, bought some strawberry crush soda and a bag of hot Cheetos, leaving me with about $16 left. I come back home and it's like 7:30 p.m. Still no Wendy's. I go on Snapchat. I see stories off of like a group of people playing basketball at a park that's near the location of the party. Eventually I got impatient and decided to haul ass for 3 miles from my house to the party. It was a long walk. During the walk I saw a lot of police cars, like they were strolling around neighborhoods. They weren't really in one place. Something told me I'll be dealing with them later on that night. Eventually I finally arrive at the house of the party. Then 2 girls came out of the house. I'll call them Dashi Kai and Penny. Dashi Kai had known me for like a couple of years now, so she knew exactly what I was there for. They told me that I should wait at the park nearby because Penny's mom was still home. Didn't want her to leave yet, and that they didn't want Penny's mom to know that there was going to be people coming by for a party. So I sat and waited for a few minutes at the park, trying not to lose 100+ years of life by some fucking mosquitoes. Good thing I had a sweatshirt and sweatpants, so it wasn't all that bad. Keep in mind though, I have $16. Eventually, a bunch of cars show up and begin to start peeling off with their tires, speeding on roads, and disobeying minor traffic laws as they wait for the host to set up everything for the party. Then, people in the car who looked like they were in their very late teens or early 20s start going in and out of behind the house. Then, they all just stand in a crowd near an intersection. Eventually, I decided to go up to that crowd and casually stand there. Then I see a few people who I know. I saw people who I hung out with in my vlogs before, and I saw that one guy who was in my choir class. I'll call him Avery. He had his phone locked because he forgot his password, and I have $16. Remember that. Anyways, I ended up sticking with Avery since the vlog friends left right when I came by. Dashi Kai provided bug spray for the group because there was a lot of mosquitoes who fucked around and said this was a Saturday night buffet where we can bite and suck the blood off people. Shit, they had a selection in that bitch. They had dark skin, brown skin, mixed skin, light skin, white. They got choices, my nigga. They were eating. After like 5-10 minutes of waiting, people started leaving because the mom was still not budging to leave. People were still getting bit, and it generally started getting boring. A few more more minutes go by and Penny say that anybody who's still trying to party can jump into any car because apparently the party was going to be at a new location. She also noted that we should pick up the pace because the neighbors were about to call the police due to such ruckus. I jump in the car with the two hosts. I tell Avery to hop in because we was going to get a ride. So he hopped in. Dashikai was driving her friend's car, we'll call her Peach, and I wasn't sure if Dashikai had a license because she had just turned 16 like a few weeks ago, and even if she did have a license, she would have restrictions for the first few months, like she can only carry one passenger under 20 or whatever. So the car Avery and I jumped in had a total of 6 people, 4 people plus me and Avery. Dashikai starts driving. I tell Avery, so what's good, Nick? Boom! God, is that you? Oh, never mind. I'm still alive. My nigger. If I learned anything from that last night, it would be to never trust a young female driver. I'm sorry, just don't. I literally thought I was going to piss my pants after that boom. It was scary. Oh, we didn't get into a car crash though. Everybody's fine. Okay, so what actually happened is that everybody got in the car. I had my seatbelt on because I was not trying to fucking die. Dashikai starts speeding down the road towards an intersection like a regular dumb teenager would do. The next thing y'all know, she hits a curb really hard. When the tire hit the curb, the tire popped and made a really loud boom due to the pressure that was applied from the bottom, causing the car and everybody in the car to shift upwards. Man, was I glad I wore a seatbelt. My nigga. Penny, who was sitting in the passenger seat, again, was sitting in the passenger seat. She literally almost flew out of the car through the passenger door window. The window was down, so she could have just flew right out. We all immediately get out of the car and we all realized that the tire was popped. Peach must be mad as fuck now. Luckily, Peach had a spare tire in the trunk. A few minutes later, we see bright lights that's about a good half mile down the street, and that can only mean two things. Either some rich fuck has their high beams on, or it's the police. Before I even made accusations, about 5 people took all of the liquor to quickly hide it in the tall grass so it wouldn't be visible. Then 3 police cars show up from all outlets, or in better words, they have Peach's cars and us cornered. As one of the policemen came to us, a couple of people were replacing the tires with a new one, while the rest of the crew was casually standing. Eventually, the tire gets replaced, the police ask for ID, Peach's boyfriend, Joey, shows up, nobody really got in trouble, and then the police left. The neighbors must be mad as fuck now. I think it would be safe to say that everybody was too focused on the car than the alcohol because a couple of people went back there and took the alcohol for themselves. The alcohol was in the bag and they told me and Avery to come with them. We all stopped behind a friend's crib, coincidentally. Avery and I had just found out that the 2 guys, we'll call them Connor and Aaron, they had just stained the party out of its liquor. They asked us if we wanted to join. Avery said yes, but he wanted to stick with me, and I said no because I don't drink alcohol. Connor told us that they were going to his house to get drunk and that we can join them later on in the night if we wanted to. So they left, and Avery and I was walking down the street, 10 at night. Sounds pleasant. As we were walking, we hear the crowd yelling. Avery and I were thinking that they had just realized that someone stole their liquor and that Avery and I may or may not have something to do with it. When we reach to the group site, Joey starts running towards us. My nigger. I'm thinking that he's about to do me like he did to Trevor from the Knocked Out Over a Girl video. That wasn't the case though. Joey was actually running towards a minivan that was behind us. Once everybody besides Aaron and Connor come back as a whole group again, the cops come again. Police told us that the neighbors called and complained about a fight that wasn't going on. Eventually, me, Avery, Trevor, and a couple of other people leave and walk together for a couple of minutes. Then a cop car pulls up to us. The cop tells us that they've been getting several complaints about us from the neighbors and that we should head home before the cop does something about it since curfew was in 30 minutes. So the cop left. Trevor and the 2 guys went to Trevor's house while Avery and I walked to Taco Bell. That's down the street. Remember when I told y'all to keep in mind that I had $16 and that Avery's phone was locked? Well, here's where that comes into play. So as Avery and I were walking down the street, 10:30 at night, we were figuring out how we were going to get home without having to walk. We figured walking home was a bad idea because the cops were just on our ass and it's a long walk in the dark. Avery then realized that he can contact his mom off of Facebook Messenger. And I told him that I have an iPad mini for him to use. So we reached the Taco Bell. I give Avery my tablet for him to log into whatever he needs to as I order the new Naked Chicken Chips meal. To be honest, it's low-key a rip-off. I mean, it's not really a rip-off, but you can get more for the same price. For the meal, they give you a taco, burrito, a drink, and some chicken nuggets in the shape of a chip with some melted cheese for dipping sauce. Around 10:45, one of my school friends shows up out of nowhere. We'll call him Larry. Apparently Larry was just going for a late night bike ride. He named off areas where he had been biking, and he biked literally 5 miles according to my calculation. Avery and Larry both knew how to speak Spanish, so they had a few side conversations. Then we said our byes, and he left. At around 11, Avery's mom showed up. I bring my food in the car because I wasn't finished with it. She dropped me home at 11:10, and I went inside. I finished my food, cleaned up some things, and then I went to Snapchat. Remember when I said Aaron and Connor stole the party's liquor? Well, they were having a great time that night. Like, they was literally taking shots on fire. All that. They must be happy as hell. The moral of the story is, don't drive underage, don't do drugs, don't drink alcohol, unless if y'all want to y'all extent, by all means. I don't really want to sound like somebody dad who strongly advises people about everything, except driving dumb or underage, especially with passengers. Y'all can get somebody killed for doing that, I promise you. Stay in school, get good grades, enjoy summer that's coming up real soon, enjoy the rest of the summer, and keep watching my YouTube videos. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please like this video if you do. Subscribe to this channel if y'all new to my content. Follow me on Twitter and Snapchat at Kinnikin. Links will be in the description below. Share this video to anybody who parties in general. I may or may not see y'all tomorrow. I don't know, man. Like, to be honest, this whole making video thing is just exhausting me the fuck out, man. Stay safe, y'all. See y'all soon. Peace out.